Hey, welcome into the Snap Week 14 Sunday live stream. Your boy Mac, joined as always by my co-host Lando, ready to help you guys get things set for the final week of the fantasy regular season. It's crazy. Feels like yesterday we were seeing the ball fly through the air for week 1, and now it's week 14. And this is a pivotal week. Lots has happened. Lots of players on COVID IR. Injuries, players making their way back to rosters. Lots to talk about today. We are ready for all of your start sits. Lando, how are you doing today, bud?
I am doing great, Mac. I am ready to go. It should be a very fun week. I hope most of you watching are already in the playoffs, but this is obviously a pivotal week for many of us. There's some injuries, there's some gross starts we might have to start looking at, like Jeff Wilson and Jamar Jefferson, these players that really aren't locked and loaded each and every week, but
No.
we might need them to get in the playoffs.
100%. Let's go through some news real quick, the ins and outs, what you see here on the card beside you. Let's go with declared out for right now. Daniel Jones, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. That was those two running backs for the Detroit Lions, really the focal point here, sort of earlier, or I guess later in the week, but leading up until today. DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, both out. We're looking at Godwin, Igwebuike, and Jamar Jefferson. Who do you like this week, Lando?
Well done. So because I don't want to say his name, I'm just going to stick with Jamar, regardless of my feelings.
Is that
No,
is that responsible though, as a fantasy analyst, to
it's
shy
not.
away?
It's it's not responsible, but I do think that Jamar Jefferson is the play.
Okay.
We've seen both guys be explosive and score long touchdowns, but I do prefer Jamar Jefferson. I liked him in the pre-draft process when I was scouting
Mm-hmm.
rookies this year, so I do like Jamar as a play this week. I think he fits all the criteria. He's going to get the workload. It's a tough matchup. That's the only
That's the
thing.
thing.
But I will be putting him in a spot start if I was going to rely on Jamal Williams or DeAndre Swift. Mac, what do you think about the rumors of DeAndre Swift going on IR, being out for the season?
Oh, I certainly hope that's not the case. If that is, Jamal Williams could be a little bit of a league winner. But I let's not read too far into that as of right now. I've heard a variety of reports. I've heard that Igwebuike is going to be the starter and Jamar Jefferson's going to be the pass catcher. I've also read the opposite. So we really don't know. I am tempering expectations for these two. I think if you lost, a Daryl Henderson, an Elijah Mitchell, a Tony Pollard, someone that you were really counting on for this week, or any of the running backs that are on bye right now, Miles Sanders, Jonathan Taylor, Stevenson, Damian Harris, Myles Gaskin, you might be without options this week. And I'm okay taking a shot on either one of these backs because it really is a coin flip. I would honestly, if I was streaming a running back this week, I think Jeff Wilson would be the guy that I would put my chips on, someone that I'm kind of playing a lot of in DFS. But that leads a couple names. Elijah Mitchell, Tony Pollard, both out as well. Keenan Allen is still on the COVID list, did not test negative on Friday, therefore cannot have 24 hours apart. Elijah Moore hit the IR. Surprise IR. He might be done for your fantasy season. He would be eligible to return in week 17, but as of right now, not looking good. Kadarius Toney is not playing, as well as Darren Waller. So that's a shortened list of the actual outs, but those are the notable ones for fantasy. So we could certainly go into more. The expected to plays, we'll get there in just a sec. Just want to give a shout out to some of our members, Eric Zubert, Thundarius in the chat already. We see some blue and green in the chat. We'll get to those questions first, and then anybody else, we will get to your questions second. We are on a 13-week streak of every single question answered, and we have intentions of making that happen once again this week. Expected to play Joe Burrow and Taysom Hill at the quarterback position. Do you like Joe Burrow this week? Some people are split on him. They're either willing to roll him out with extreme confidence, or they're tempering expectations because of that finger. Where are you?
I'm ready to roll out Joe Burrow. I have him listed as a top 12 quarterback this week. I think this is a good bounce back game for Burrow and Chase, for that matter. I think Jamar Chase is a great start this week. You kind of have to start him almost with faith. You just need to know that he's a stud wide receiver. He hasn't shown it lately, but he was so close to a big play last week. He's a must start for me, and I think a great buy low candidate in every format. Shout out Gary McCord.
Yeah.
He just joined the Snap Army this past week, and I appreciate you. Your name isn't
I
green,
was
but
gonna
I'm
say,
not sure.
Why isn't the name green?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have to figure that one out.
Yep.
I read a report that the 49ers are going to be without two of their secondary, a corner and a safety. So I think there's a little bit of a boost for Jamar Chase. But yes, I am playing Jamar and Joe Burrow in many matchups. Joe Mixon is also ready to go. So I have really extreme faith in the Bengals to keep rolling, handle business, and move on. Alvin Kamara makes his return today. Melvin Gordon should be back as well. Alvin Kamara, you'll see, is on the thumbnail today. This could be a big performance from Alvin Kamara. We could see that, reminiscent against the Minnesota Vikings last year about this time, 6 touchdown performance. Could be a big one up against the Jets.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Shout out to everyone watching right now. Thanks for sticking with us through week 14 of the fantasy season. We appreciate you for coming by every single week. Jack and Gary and Rolando, you guys are a bunch of beauties. Appreciate you. We will get to your questions very soon.
Like I said, Jeff Wilson Jr. is a play for me this week. Strong play. David Montgomery, I am not shying away from either, even though the matchup and the point total for the Bears is quite low. Mike Williams should be the shining star for the LA Chargers this week with no Keenan Allen. We could also see some Jalen Guyton or someone that you brought up on the podcast this week, Josh Palmer. Might be a nice DFS dart throw or a 14 to 16 team league start, really. And then Deebo Samuel making his way back. Sterling Shepard might be one of the only healthy options for the Giants as well today.
Confidence level in Deebo Samuel coming back off of injury, Mac. What are your thoughts?
I mean, the matchup against the Bengals is good, so confidence is high. I think if Deebo's ready to go, Deebo's a play. There's no reason to shy away at this point.
He's one of those guys that got you here, got you top of the league. You might as well roll him out. I wish they almost held him out one more week, but I understand playing him. And if he's fully healthy, all systems go. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. So we start off today with our questions with Easy, one of our members, one of our moderators. He wants to help us, or he wants us to help him fix his flex. He's got Ayuk. He also has Deebo, James Robinson, or Marcus Valdes-Scantling. We have no Randall Cobb for the Packers. That's someone who didn't make the short list, but is definitely worthy of saying. Current running backs are A.J. Dillon and Cordero Patterson. No pressure. It's just a win and in situation. He is down by 20 to the Dalvin Cook owner, projected to lose by 15. It's a full PPR, so we potentially need a ceiling play.
Win and in for Eric here. This is a really tricky one. James Robinson has been disappointing lately. He did not practice throughout the week, but they came out and said that he will just get some rest days. That's going to be the norm for James Robinson. It's not due to injury. It's just like a veteran's rest. And I mean, second-year player, he needs the rest too. So his current RBs are A.J. Dillon and Cordero, like you mentioned. What do you think between A.J. Dillon and James Robinson, Mac? Do you think they're close? Would you prefer with the guy that projects to have more work in James Robinson, or the guy that we've seen bulldoze people over in A.J. Dillon, but a split backfield with Aaron Jones, projected to get most of the work again now that he's back?
This is a volume versus efficiency play between these two players. I do think that James Robinson probably touches the ball more than A.J. Dillon does, but A.J. Dillon's been really effective and efficient with the football. The matchup is great for the Packers, not so great for the Jags. It's really a coin flip. I think the decider will be who gets in the end zone. If I had to put money on somebody, it'd probably be A.J. Dillon to get in the end zone ahead of James Robinson. That's kind of the tiebreaker for me. But I like, for the record, I like Robinson over Ayuk. I think with Deebo coming back and Kittle really maturing into that role that he once had, I don't know if there's enough for Ayuk potentially. I think he's the last man at the bowl, really.
Ayuk's been one of the most difficult players to project, Eric, this year. As soon as we think we can trust him, he is a ghost for 3/4 of a game.
Yeah.
Last game he was okay, but it all came in the fourth quarter. Some of the last couple drives for Ayuk that got him some fantasy points. He's a very frustrating player to own. Of course, we've seen the big games, and if Debo's limited for some reason, of course, Ayuk is that play, but he has Debo Samuel already playing. So I think you just, sit Ayuk, hope
Sit
everything
Ayuk.
goes to Debo.
Yep.
And if what we hope you need a ceiling play. It's like a DFS, Eric, when the narrative needs to happen to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
So you need everything to go to Debo. For you to hedge and go to Ayuk, that's not really helping you that much.
No.
So you might as well go with James Robinson over Ayuk in your flex and get going. And same with MVS as well. So you need AJ Dillon to score those touchdowns. You don't want a long touchdown to MVS.
No.
So just hope that AJ Dillon spells Aaron Jones at the right time. It happens in your favor. Again, it's not a high probability, but it's something you need to happen. You need these scenarios to happen to overcome the Dalvin Cook performance.
And this is also the Packers coming off of a bye. We've got Aaron Jones also coming off of an injury. What is his status? We'll see. I like AJ Dillon though, so I would be sitting down Brandon Ayuk. I'd be playing James Robinson, and like Landon said, you need everything to fall in the right way, and don't hedge against it. Go all in on it. We'll see. Thundarius, we got some member questions. Chris, how's it going? Welcome in. Thundarius said got shredded by injuries this week. He's got the lineup in the chat. I can sort of run it back to you. What it really comes down to, he didn't start Claypool on Thursday. He's also got Keenan Allen, Elijah Mitchell, AJ Dillon on the bench right now. His starts are Cordero Patterson, Chuba Hubbard, and then he's flexing in Jeff Wilson. He's also flexing Jerry Jeudy. He's starting both Ayuk and Samuel. Got AJ Dillon on the bench. I told him to pick up Jeff Wilson. I liked him in there, but he put him in over AJ Dillon. My recommendation was AJ Dillon over Chuba Hubbard. What do you think, Lando? I know you haven't really talked about this one.
Let me I'm going to jump into our Discord and take a look for Thundarius to see. I see it up here right now. I think you gave good advice. The AJ Dillon versus Jeff Wilson is super tough. Again, efficiency versus projected volume.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Debo's back, we saw him in the backfield a lot as well. Just really vulturing touchdowns from when Elijah Mitchell was even still healthy. Whether or not that happens this week is up in the air. You have both Samuel and Ayuk starting and going with Kittle and Jeff Wilson. That's a lot of 49ers. You need that game to be massive.
That's where I might pivot actually and throw Jeudy. If you're going to start Jeudy against the Detroit Lions, which I think is a good matchup, throw Jeudy in instead of Ayuk, get away from the 3 pass catchers, and then put in both Dillon and Hubbard. So you have those 4 running backs starting. You sit down Ayuk because you're betting on Debo and Kittle. You don't want to go. I don't think the matchup's good enough to where you can say all 3 of these San Francisco pass catchers are going to be viable for me.
Correct.
Now that I see that and I think about that and we talk through it, I think that is actually the play. Because I do think Chuba Hubbard is worth a start this week. I just don't think he's as good of a start as AJ Dillon or Jeff Wilson, but I'd still be willing to put him out there in a really good matchup against the Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. We also got Gary McCord. He should be green, but he's not. Devontae Freeman, Deontay Foreman, Brandon Ayuk, or Chuba Hubbard. Also Titans D or Broncos D. Half PPR win and in situation. First of all, I'm going to go Broncos D over the Titans D. That's got to be the locked and loaded play.
Yeah.
Claire, welcome back into the stream. We'll get to your question. Happy to have you. Thundarius, you are welcome. I'm glad we talked that one through. I think we found the right answer for you. Freeman, Foreman, Ayuk, or Hubbard. Who do you like here?
Devonta Freeman stands out to me as a almost must play right now. He's one of those players that feels like he could be frustrating to have and own on the Baltimore Ravens, but as of late he's been very good.
Very
It feels
solid.
like once you can trust him, he'll let you down. But with the play that he has, I would go with Freeman number one. As far as
I would order them Freeman, Ayuk, Hubbard, and then Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman actually is my last. Foreman is my 23 ranked running back this week again, but it's on very much efficiency. It's not. He has shown big plays, but it's not a confidence start. But I do have Chuba Hubbard ranked ahead in a very good matchup against Atlanta.
Rolando, help! I need a wide receiver in a flex. Jalen Guyton, Josh Palmer, Rashad Penny, Allen Robinson, Rashad Bateman, full PPR. Oh baby. Okay. Jalen Guyton and Josh Palmer, I prefer Guyton over Palmer. So we can sort of eliminate Palmer from this. Rashad Penny, I know, is in a really good situation. There's just no reason to trust Rashad Penny. He's never once come through for you. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Pete Carroll came out this week and said, Rashad Penny's going to be a big part of our plan this week. I don't buy it, Pete.
No.
Alex Collins is back. Does Rashad Penny supplant Alex Collins? Sure. Does it matter? Probably not. I mean, you look at this run game, their top rusher over the last 9 weeks has only topped 50 yards once. I just don't know the confidence I have, even though the matchup is amazing in Rashad Penny. So I'm going to say no. Allen Robinson, no. Rashad Bateman, he's been so hot, so cold. I mean, I shouldn't even say so hot. He was trending in the right direction, and then he got cold.
And then he donutted you last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
But do you go back to him after that performance? Do you go Guyton and Bateman?
It's between Guyton and Bateman for me.
So, but he needs a wide receiver and flex. So those are the two that.
Oh, sorry, wide receiver and flex. You're right. So I would go Guyton, Bateman.
Yeah, if you could start Hubbard over one of those guys, I would do that. Rolando, you have Monty or Hubbard full PPR. I assume that might be a different league.
If it's the same league, then yes, I would start Hubbard over Bateman, and I would just roll out Jalen Guyton on a potential for a big play.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Rolando, that's gonna be my alter ego, Rolando.
We've got a super chat coming in from Mark Hill. Thank you so much, Mark. Again, appreciate you. Jeff Wilson or Dontrell Hilliard at running back. For me, it is Jeff Wilson. I don't know if I really need to spell it out, but San Francisco 49ers run the ball top 5 in the league. They're going to need to do so against the Cincinnati Bengals. Decent matchup. I think the Bengals are giving up the 10th most points against fantasy running backs, so it's a soft matchup on the ground. They're going to want to move the ball on the ground. They're going to try to, as they always do, and I think that is a better play than hoping for the big play from Hilliard. I do expect Deontay Foreman to get the bulk of the work there.
Yeah, exactly. I tend to agree. Foreman and Hilliard seem like very similar players, kind of, and they're going to spell each other. I give the slight boost to Foreman, so Hilliard, yeah, exactly what Max said. Break off the big play. And it's possible against Jacksonville. It's a great matchup. Mm-hmm. But if Jeff Wilson finishes that game healthy, I think he will outperform Hilliard. That is the only risk involved with Jeff Wilson, is that he seems to always get banged up.
Yep.
It's very difficult to project injury. Seems like any San Francisco running back, it seems like it's more probable that they get injured than any other team in the league. However, I have Jeff Wilson slightly ahead. He's a top, right around a top 20 running back for me this week.
Yep.
But he has upside because of that San Francisco running game that Mac alluded to.
Jack Hurley, should I start Sony Michel or Aaron Jones this week? Aaron Jones for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you could start both, that is a really good play. I like, we saw Sony Michel by himself last week. It's a very good offense. I think it's a great chance for Sony to do it again.
Much different matchup, though.
Yeah, tougher matchup against Arizona.
You're playing the Arizona Cardinals.
You got to wait until Monday night to do that.
Right. Yeah, I would absolutely start Aaron Jones. Now, the beauty of this is you can kind of see how the day plays out. Right? You can see how the day plays out and then make your decision, because the Packers play tonight and the Rams play tomorrow night. So you have time to make this decision, Jack. But as of right now, I would go Aaron Jones, absolutely. If something happens with Aaron Jones before the game, something comes out, he's not going to play, then it's an easy pivot to Sony. But I would prefer Aaron Jones to Sony Michel. Much better matchup coming off 2 weeks of rest. I like Aaron Jones.
I think so too. You do have to play your studs in that scenario. Aaron Jones is still a very, very good running back. It just hasn't been that as of late. So I think you roll with Jones, and if something happens, I mean, I know it's a big week for everyone,
of course,
and you need it, but I think that's why you go Aaron Jones. What he can take a touchdown at any point of the field. He has that kind of game breaking potential.
Oh, absolutely. Blair Webb, so is Brandon. I assume Brandon Ayuk not worth playing now. No, we're not saying not worth playing. Every single situation is different, so that's why we have these streams. That's why we're trying to help you out. We were saying that out of, if you're starting Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, it might be beneficial to pivot off of Brandon Ayuk because you have more exposure to that offense, whereas you could just put in Jerry Jeudy in a really good matchup as well. It eliminates your exposure to the one game. If the 49ers flop, then all three of your plays flop. So that's just – and the probability of all three of them having great games is probably pretty low.
Yeah, of course. Like in a DFS matchup, like a Millionaire Maker matchup, sometimes people really stack one game and play 3 or 4 weapons from each game. And if it hits, hey, you have the combination that very few people ever have. But that's to win a million. That's not to win a matchup.
No.
You need to rely on higher probabilities to win a 1v1 matchup. And that's your narrative has to come true for everyone to hit. That's super, super difficult for that to happen.
Agreed. Griff, good morning to you as well. Friend to the south, I guess. We're in the north, you're in the south. Good luck to you as well. We are not playing each other, so I can wish you the best of luck in all of your matchups this week. Not that I wouldn't anyways. Thundarius,
good morning.
You are
Chris
welcome.
Timmons as well, Snap Army member. Good morning, sir.
Absolutely. Where are we at here? Blair.
Jacob.
Oh, sorry,
Jacob
War.
had a question.
No, we got War. Oh, no, yeah, you're right. Jacob. We got Jacob. AJ Dillon or Godwin Igwebuike in a full PPR. I would stick with AJ Dillon.
I would also stick with AJ Dillon. Thank you for being patient with us, Jacob. I know you asked that a long time ago, but you're here every single week, so we very much appreciate
we got
you.
We got you.
Yeah.
Your boy War.
Yeah.
Also, how's War's golf game? Give me the quick rundown on what he's doing with the sticks here.
It's good. We played, and I think I only won by 2 by the end. But simulator golf is a little bit different.
True,
You gotta kind of know the game to play. He came back. I was on fire a little bit, and he came back and played. He's a lefty. Plays a draw every single time. Just aims down the left side with a nice little tight draw. Doesn't carry the ball a ton, has to rely on a roll. So again, simulator golf, that isn't always his friend.
So you're over there with the settings just clicking soft conditions?
Exactly. Yeah, no roll for War. No roll.
Let's help him with his flex spot here. Wide receiver and flex. Odell Beckham, Mike Williams, Deebo, Amari, CEH, and AJ Dillon. Damn.
Some good options. We steered War wrong last week, but he had such good plays that it didn't matter.
True.
His team was so good that it didn't matter that we sat Russell Gage last weekend.
Hey, that was a fluke.
Right.
I'm out of this list. I think the wide receiver options are so good that I'm just gonna sit down CEH and AJ Dillon. I think I'm gonna go Mike Williams and Amari Cooper. Mike Williams and Deebo Samuel.
Okay, so you're gonna sit Amari. I see. I would probably go
Deebo Amari.
Deebo Amari. Deebo's a tough one. He's such a good player. He got War and myself to the championship, or to the playoffs essentially. But again, do you go risk versus reward and say maybe Deebo's injured, maybe he's not going to play his full snap share and his big game isn't in there? But we know that with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams' big game is there. We've seen Mike without Keenan last year, and it was really good. He got peppered with targets. Now, lately it doesn't feel good relying on Mike Williams. It's been a rocky road for Mike Williams, and it feels like everyone and their dog is going to play Mike Williams.
The matchup is so good. The matchup is so good. There's no Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
I don't know that the Giants can stop the Chargers on the ground either. Like, I think there's going to be the Chargers doing what they want. I think Mike Williams is a must start. And Amari Cooper against the Washington football team is a good matchup as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of leaning with Debo coming back. Just take the risk out of it and just go Cooper and Williams. That's my final answer.
It's funny. I think my must plays Amari out of that. So I think it's Amari Debo, but I think you can easily go with Mike Will as well. I have both those guys playing on my team, so I'll be cheering for all three of those guys.
Right. We got a Snap Army question. Chris Timmons, first week of the playoffs for him. Oh, starting in week 14. Damn. Good luck to you, Chris. Would you play MVS or Bateman in the flex? Honestly, truthfully, I would play Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
MVS. I thought you were going to say that.
I would. With Randall Cobb out and MVS always good for a deep touchdown, a longer play. I mean, the Chicago Bears give up the deep ball, and I would absolutely play Marquez there for the big play. Damn.
Yeah. So would I. I trust the quarterback. Like, that's the thing. They're very similar players.
Yep.
But it doesn't feel like Bateman has the big game in him right now, especially with Lamar at quarterback.
He's just disappeared.
The depth of target he has, which is probably like 4 yards, it feels like. He needs 12 targets to make it worthwhile.
Right. MVS needs one play.
Yeah, MVS needs 4 targets to have a big game.
Yeah.
So that's where it is.
Blair Webb, flex Brandon Ayuk, or Dontrell Hilliard with Debo playing now. I would stay with Ayuk there.
Yeah, so I don't think he has Debo. So I think
No, I know that. He's saying because Debo's playing, do we fade Ayuk? No, not necessarily. I even though I'm not as high on Ayuk as I maybe was in previous weeks with Debo out, I'm still higher on him than Dontrell Hilliard. So,
yeah.
Claire,
good.
Headed to the Chargers game today. Does that mean I should consider starting Josh Palmer over AJ Green? Give you something to cheer for. That's kind of fun. Half PPR Dynasty League. Also, Hooper or Moreau, same team.
Number one, I love Foster Moreau for a bounce back game.
Okay.
I think you should play him over Hooper. Hooper has been there and disappointing. I don't want to trust Baker Mayfield. Of course, it's possible that Hooper gets a touchdown, but I think Moreau will get more targets, and then his touchdown opportunity is very similar to what Austin Hooper is. Everyone knows watching that the tight end position is a crapshoot, flip a coin almost, but I do have a good feeling about Foster Moreau. Hopefully that works out for you, because I know he was a bust last week when everyone trusted him.
Right. And then Josh Palmer, AJ Green.
I would absolutely. I would go with Josh Palmer.
Really?
It'd be so much fun if he gets a touchdown, for Claire to be screaming that Josh Palmer scores. I don't know. That's the narrative I like to go on. I'm sure AJ Green's potentially a better play.
Much better start.
Yeah, but I think just for the sake of she's going to the game and gets to cheer if Josh Palmer, but it'll be like heartbreaking if Mike Williams scores that touchdown. I don't know.
If it doesn't matter, Claire, just play Josh. Like, if you've already got the playoff spot locked up, you don't really need this win. It doesn't really matter for your seeding. I mean, play Josh Palmer. Have a little fun at the game. Have a little extra something to cheer for. I'm kind of with you on that. But if it does matter, I'm still going to start AJ Green.
Send us some photos of the game. That'd be awesome to see, Claire. I appreciate you coming by every week. You're one of our best listeners. You always have great questions, and I'm jealous that you're going to the game.
I wanted to bring up 2 things before we get to the rest of the questions. First and foremost, the signed Dalvin Cook jersey for our Snap Army members. Each month that you've been a member, you get an entry. We're going to draw this Week 17 live stream. So really, really looking forward to giving that away. We also have a signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey, which we've been debating on what to do with, and we decided not to go with not to go with our members specifically, but all you guys have to do is go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating and review, and then use the hashtag Snap21 in your post, as well as an IG or Twitter handle where we can get a hold of you. But we will be giving away that Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey again in week 17, pulling from any of our reviews. So if you can leave the podcast a rating and review and use the hashtag Snap21 as well as an IG or Twitter handle, we will enter you in for that and draw it out and give it away.
If you've already left a rating review, just put it again and leave your handle in the comments with that hashtag Snap21, and you will go back to the top. So like you will see it again, and that actually does help the podcast. So I know a lot of you listening have already left a rating review, but do it again, and that still helps. So I would love to give away that Clyde Edwards jersey. I can't wait that one lucky listener wins it. And I hope we see some new ratings, and appreciate it. If you could say something nice about the show, that means a lot to us.
Absolutely. I've left that in the chat for you guys as well. Matthew, 8-team league, full PPR, Mooney or OBJ. Also, how bad is it that my only 2 running backs this week are both Packers, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon? Matthew, I'm actually in the same situation as you, funny enough, and I am playing both of them with confidence. I think this matchup on the ground against the Bears is fantastic. I did hear something on the Fantasy Footballers podcast this week. They were talking about the Green Bay Packers in Aaron Rodgers' tenure in the month of December. They have been double-digit favorites 15 times and are 14-1 in those matchups. The implied point total for the Bears is like 14. The Packers are going to run rampant over the Chicago Bears. I'm happy to play both of them. To answer your question, Mooney or OBJ, I'm going with OBJ because I just don't think that there is... I'm not confident in Justin Fields. I'm not confident in Darnell Mooney. I'm more confident in OBJ to get it done, to keep that touchdown streak alive.
Yeah,
crazy, but that's what it is.
I agree with everything you said. Mooney...
The volume will be there, but I don't know if the production will be there.
Yeah.
Jair Alexander is set to return as well.
We want to see a good competitive matchup with the Rams and Cardinals. That should lead to a lot of fantasy assets, including the aforementioned A.J. Green in that matchup. So I think it'll be a good, big, high-scoring game. Should be. I think that leads well for Odell Beckham as well.
We do have our first gross question alert from Jacob. Godwin, Igwebuike, or Allen Robinson for the flex in a PPR league?
Who would have thought?
You're going to have to say the name, Landon. Godwin, Igwebuike.
Igwebuike. I think it's got to be the running back, right?
Agreed. Yeah, I think so. I have no faith in Allen Robinson. I have no faith in Justin Fields. I have no faith in the Bears against the Packers. I really don't. So, not to do with my bias. It's just the track record's not good. I think the only person I'm willing to start, unless I'm in a 2 QB league, is going to be David Montgomery. Darnell Mooney is definitely a flex consideration, but he's an easy fade, I think, this week. Justin Fields in a 2 QB, you got to start him. But other than that, I'm sitting him down.
Yeah.
Kyle, starting Judy in honor of Demaryius Thomas and the Broncos. I love that play. R.I.P. DT, man. One of the best. Absolutely.
That guy was a monster. I remember you had him in Dynasty.
I did.
And was
he was on my championship winning roster that first year we ran the Dynasty League. Yeah, DT.
He was, and that's one of the things that I love about fantasy football. A lot of people now ask me, what's your favorite team? And I've become more of a big fan of the players, honestly. And I say that all the time now, is that I like these players. I love Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson. Just the fact that Jefferson plays for the Vikings, that technically are my favorite team, that doesn't matter. I just love to see Jefferson ball out. These players, and similar with Demaryius Thomas, how we've grown to like these players and what they've done for us on the field, and I think that brings us closer to the players. And unfortunately, we mourn the losses of them when they pass early. This football game is a very difficult sport, hard on their bodies, hard on their brains, hopefully he was okay till the end. I don't know the circumstances of his passing, but
I think it was a
feel
seizure.
for, yeah, and probably something. I mean, football and NFL could have had an impact on that, which is awful to think, but
yeah. We've got a couple Snap Army questions to get to. Bateman or Sutton? I lean Sutton in a much better matchup.
Yeah, I think Sutton is the play as well. Neither are good starts, but Sutton has a better matchup.
Yeah. Chris Timmons, Moreau, or Jared Cook?
Oh.
I like Jared Cook to get busy.
I don't mind Jared Cook there too. You're trusting Moreau for a bounce back, but they're back-to-back in my rankings. I have Moreau one spot higher, but it's not a confidence.
I think with Keenan Allen out, you definitely have to give Jared Cook a little boost, and given the matchup, I think it's much, much better.
Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah. What do we got? Glock guy stuck between Ayuk and Russell Gage. Thoughts? I'm gonna take Ayuk.
Yeah, I will as well. I don't know why we just hate Russell Gage as a podcast.
It's not that we hate or dislike him. Can you trust him? I mean, he had a great game last week. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's had targets lately too.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, 8 targets, 7 targets, 12 targets. The 11 for 12 and 130 was unheard of against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Going up against Carolina Panthers. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. I lean Brandon Ayuk. I think he's a better play. I could see you going Russell Gage, and it's probably a coin flip, to be honest. My gut says Brandon Ayuk, but I've been wrong before. Mike Williams or CD Lamb for the wide receiver. Also have Tyreek Hill as the wide receiver 1 and Justin Jefferson as the flex this week. Nice options. Mike Williams or CD Lamb. I'm high on Mike Williams this week. I think he has a great game against the Giants without Keenan Allen. You're probably in on CD Lamb, Landon?
Yeah, I prefer CD.
So April, we are zero help to you.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. They're both probably top 12 options this week. So you really can't go wrong.
No, you can't. Yeah, for sure. I understand the narrative behind Mike Williams. He's a great play without Keenan Allen. He showed his potential early in the season, being a top 2-3-1 wide receiver early on.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously trust Justin Herbert. He's a great quarterback, and he does target Mike Williams in the end zone a ton, even with Keenan Allen. It seems like Mike Will always gets the first look.
Right.
It's not always touchdown, but he at least gets the opportunity, and then it just so happens next play seems to go to Keenan Allen for a touchdown. That's what happened last week anyways. I think CD's a better play, though. He's a more consistent play. You're probably going to win with either start, April.
That's right.
Because you have Jefferson. And Tyreek, I know, is disappointing, and I think he set up really good against Vegas for a big game. I like him this week. So
yeah, I got Mike Williams as wide receiver 6, and then CeeDee Lamb as wide receiver 7. So they're literally back to back.
Yeah.
Super solid. Dribble God, Chargers or Bills defense. I'm actually not going to play the Bills or the Bucks defense this week. I know that they're both solid defenses, but I think their offenses are both better than their defenses. Bills have been struggling as of late, but I don't foresee that to continue for any reason. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, to be honest. So I'm going to go Chargers with the Mike Glennon-led Giants.
Oh, love the Chargers defense this week.
Yeah. Blair Webb, Jarvis Landry, Deebo Samuel, or Jerry Jeudy in a full PPR. I think. How would you order them? Deebo first.
Deebo first.
I like Jerry Jeudy over Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, it's close.
Jerry Jeudy has the much better matchup against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he does indeed.
Yeah. Jeff McGarry, Darnell Mooney, Antonio Gibson, Jarvis Landry in a full PPR flex, Brady against the Bills, or Wilson against the Texans. First place by already locked, so no pressure. I mean, congrats to you, Jeff. That's fantastic. To be honest, I to answer the quarterback question, it's tempting to get cute with Russell Wilson against the Texans, but I think Tom Brady's going to continue to be the best quarterback in football and be Tom Brady, and I don't think the
Yep.
Bills matter. So I'd be rolling out Brady. This is sort of battle testing Brady for your fantasy playoffs, getting him a really nice rep before it really matters. So I would just stick with Brady. And then Mooney, Gibson, Landry. Who do you prefer in the flex, Lindo?
Gibson for sure.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Gibson, Landry, Mooney would be the order for me.
Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Just for anybody else coming in, we are giving away a signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey. All we need from you is a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Go ahead and find us, Snap Fantasy Football Podcast, and use the code SNAP21 as a hashtag in your post, as well as an IG or Twitter handle, and we will enter you in. We'll be giving it away in the Week 17 stream. So just to show y'all, it does exist. Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey, signed, authenticated from Pristine Auction, ready to give away.
Love that. What's up, Tammy? Snap Army member coming into the chat. Thanks for coming in, my dude, and thanks for joining the Snap Army. I hope you win the Dalvin Cook jersey. Just don't tell anyone. Blair Webb coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much. I know we answered your questions, and this is just a thank you for the support. Awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yes. We'll go Temmie, and then we'll go Blair. Start Alex Collins or A.J. Dillon. Temmie. I would go with A.J. Dillon with full confidence. There's conflicting reports between Rashad Penny, Alex Collins. Who's going to get the work? The question is, does it matter? That's what it really comes down to. The last 9 weeks, the leading rusher for the Seahawks has only broken 50 yards once. I don't know that it matters. I don't know if I have any confidence in the Seattle run game. So I would be starting A.J. Dillon. I think the Packers are going to roll over the Bears. When it comes to Blair's question, Penny or Jamar Jefferson, I believe I answered Penny.
You answered Penny. That is close. Oh, man.
So here is the thing. When it comes down to A.J. Dillon, who is such a solid option and has been the last couple weeks, in a game script where they're probably going to be up, they're probably going to be able to run the ball, and one of those two guys, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, are going to get the looks around the goal line. There's so much more upside for A.J. Dillon than Alex Collins.
No, sorry. I thought we were talking about Blair's question.
I know. I'm setting it up, though.
Okay.
When we're talking about Rashad Penny or Jamar Jefferson, the matchup for the Lions is really poor. Right?
Yes.
The matchup for the Seahawks is really solid.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They go up against a Houston Texans defense that can't stop anything.
Yeah.
I'm willing to take a shot on Rashad Penny here because I think the ceiling for him is higher. I don't know what the Lions will even be able to do. Yeah, what if Jamar Jefferson does touch the ball 15 times? What does it amount to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and we've needed the talent of DeAndre Swift to do exceptional things. We saw Jamal Williams last week have the full workload and do nothing with it.
Right.
DeAndre Swift is one of the best backs in the league. Jamar Jefferson, being a rookie, is not at that point. Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I just have this bias towards Rashad Penny.
I know he's the least trustworthy football player, feels like, that I've ever seen.
So bad. But it's close. The matchup is great if he stays healthy the entire game and has the workload that we're probably going to project, because Alex Collins has been dreadful.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Rashad Penny is in a decent spot. I don't know. It's a coin flip. I might lean Jamar a little bit, but I understand the narrative and the opportunities for Rashad Penny against a really, really bad defense.
The Denver Broncos are just so hard to put points up against on the ground, especially if you're the Detroit Lions.
And we saw the Kansas City Chiefs struggle against them for most of that game last weekend on Monday night.
Right. And I'll also bring up the point that I've read conflicting reports as to who's actually going to be the lead ball carrier for the Lions. I've read several reports that it's going to be Godwin Igwebuike, and I've also read that it's going to be Jamar Jefferson. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're right. So and I mean, Rashad Penny, we know he may not be the lead back, but he will get opportunities because we've seen it many weeks.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get his chance to be the hot hand that Pete Carroll sticks with.
I believe Travis Homer is not playing either.
Right.
So it's really DJ Dallas, Rashad
Yeah.
Penny, and whatever Alex Collins gives you. But
Yeah.
I'm leaning Penny for two reasons. One, I do kind of think that he does get a majority of the work, and the matchup is just so much better. Jefferson, I think, is a dart throw. It's either him or Igwebuike. The matchup is really, really poor. I think if they both got 15 touches, I'd put a little bit more faith into Penny over Jamar Jefferson. But it's really close, Blair.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the play.
Who has the better chance of scoring a touchdown? Let's just have that quick debate.
Yeah,
Do you think the Lions can score?
Yeah, it's
no T.J. Hawkinson, no DeAndre Swift, no. I mean, I shouldn't say no T.J. Hawkinson, but it's extremely doubtful as of right now. No Jamal Williams. This team is struggling.
Yeah. It might be in garbage time that you need to rely on Jamar, and that's not fun to watch. You're right. He could look like a bust for 3/4 of that game, and then come through and maybe score garbage time. But if you're relying on that, then you absolutely should go with Penny. I don't think Houston has a chance to sustain any kind of drives with Davis Mills at quarterback. So Seattle should have a ton of chances. And if they go up early, if DK scores a couple and Lockett scores, it should be a run first offense in the second half of the game.
What do you mean? The Seattle Seahawks are just elite on the ground in Pete Carroll's mind. That's what they do.
Yeah. Establish the run. So thanks, Blair, for the question. I hope our discussion leads you in the right direction. At the end of the day, I hope it works out for you. Either one you go with. I think it's very much a coin flip. So if you have a gut feeling, I would go with that. I think the logic leads to Penny and the game script and the better defense you're going against, and then it's a very much a dart throw for Jamar, but you need to rely on you have to pick who you think is going to get the opportunities for that backfield. And there's not much to prove yet who is going to do that. So it's good. It's more of a leap of faith for Jamar.
Okay.
Cool.
That was a great question, Blair. Thanks so much for that. We appreciate it. We've got another tough question here from Stuart Rose. With Wentz on the bye, he's got Russell Wilson. Doesn't feel good about it. The only other quarterbacks of note that are free agents are Teddy Bridgewater and Ryan Tannehill. The contextual thoughts here: Teddy, who's no confidence, I agree, and Tannehill, who's got no weapons. He's getting Julio Jones back, but that's kind of it. Who are you picking out of those guys?
Boy. So I think I would still trust Russ.
I think so.
Then pick up the thing is, unless you drop Russell Wilson, you're going to have to pick up Ryan Tannehill and drop another player. Mm-hmm. I would rather just hold Russ and play him this week rather than having to carry 3 quarterbacks, Stuart. You might have a backup running back that you need, a Tony Pollard that's hurt that you don't want to drop. Those guys are more valuable on your team than a third quarterback like Tannehill or Teddy Bridgewater. So unless you're willing to drop Russell Wilson, if that's the case, then it doesn't really matter. If you truly believe that Tannehill versus Jacksonville is going to put up, you're looking for 2 touchdowns and 250 yards, basically. I think Russell can do that. I think we think Penny's going to have a good game. It could be a screen pass touchdown. Yeah, I would just roll with Russell Wilson. If you really don't feel good and don't trust him, between Teddy and Tannehill, Mac, who do you like better? Both good matchups.
I would just play Russ.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at these matchups, sure, Teddy Bridgewater has the absolute best matchup, but I just don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. I'm in the same camp as Stuart. There's no reason for me to say, yeah, it's Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, let's be honest. Between Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, they could win this game on the ground, which they're probably going to try to do, given the game plan we saw roll out last week. The volume's just not there for Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Jerry Jeudy. So if I don't feel good starting those guys, how am I going to start Teddy Bridgewater with any confidence? I would just take Russ in a really good matchup. He's got weapons. The only thing they're really missing is Chris Carson, but I'm starting Gerald Everett in several contests this week because I feel good about him. I'd be happy starting DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So why shy away from Russ against a defense that's not that great? I just don't see any reason why.
Yep, and that's a great way to think about it. Like I love Lockett and Metcalf this week. They're great. We're even considering Rashad Penny, so that should give you all the confidence. And we don't want to start Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton, like those. And the reason being is because we don't trust Teddy, and we would love to start those players if Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of the Broncos. Yep. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and Teddy is just not it. He's
he ain't it.
He ain't it. Gavin has a question that we just missed. He has Lockett or Mike Williams. You have Mike Williams very high.
I do.
In your rankings.
Yep.
Lockett has a great matchup. Do you lean Mike Williams?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Tyler Lockett's probably a fringe wide receiver 1 this week, like maybe in the 12 to 14 range.
Yeah, I got him 15.
Okay. I think Mike Williams is, he's a wide receiver 1 with upside. I think he could finish the wide receiver 1 on the week. It's very possible.
Here's a good question. Mike Williams or DJ Moore versus Atlanta?
Still go Mike Williams, even though I do like DJ Moore this week. The matchup is great. There are some concerns with Cam Newton. I'm still going to roll that out there.
Yeah.
We saw him get benched for PJ Walker. Like, let's be serious. Eli's got a good question, though. Jeff Wilson or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or should he take the chance on Connor if Edmonds doesn't play? For the record, Eli, I don't think it matters if Chase Edmonds plays. I think this team's fully in on James Conner. There's no reason for them not to be as the number 1. I would actually sit down Jeff Wilson and play CEH and Connor.
Maybe
I'm reading that wrong. Maybe you can't start 2. If you can't, I would order them Edwards-Helaire, Connor, Wilson. That would be the order I would have.
Yep, I don't mind that. Edmonds, I don't think factors that much into James Conner's workload right from the start.
Because the high-value touches we've seen be James Conner's.
Yeah.
Oh, Stewart picked up Broncos defense on a freebie. Beautiful.
Love it.
Let's go.
Thanks so much for everyone coming in. Make sure to toss a like on the video. We haven't asked that yet. Y'all are doing it anyway.
Y'all are killing it anyways.
We appreciate you guys for coming in. So, toss a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts if you can. You have a chance to win a Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey. Leave a handle, whether it's on Instagram or Twitter. That helps a lot so we can get a hold of you to give you the Clyde Edwards-Helaire jersey and ship it free of charge. If you have already left a rating and review, drop a just redo that again. Put #snap21 in there and your IG handle. It goes back to the top, so it helps you have a chance to win that Clyde jersey.
Absolutely. JV, Debo or Gallup, and then Guyton or Palmer or Sterling Shepard. Thank you. These are 2 different leagues, FYI.
Gotcha.
Debo Samuel over Gallup. Yes?
I think so, yeah. There's that we mentioned about the risk of re-injury for Debo Samuel. The injury didn't seem that bad to begin with. He had a chance to play last week, so I do think Debo's going to be a full go, and his ceiling is much higher than Gallup. Gallup's been good, but we've seen that because we've had Amari miss time and CD miss time as well. So I think Debo is a locked and loaded start. As far as the Chargers wide receivers, or Sterling Shepard, Mac. I think Sterling's in a good spot this week, but he's been so hurt. We don't want to trust that offense. What do you do?
I'm just not trusting it because of the matchup as well as Mike Glennon. My chips are going to be on Jalen Guyton. I think he's been a nice upside play for the Chargers offense. Obviously, no Keenan Allen is a boost to him. I like him this week out of those 3.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Yep. Dion. Jacob. Think I missed it, but who would you pick, Robinson or Igwebuike for the flex? We said Igwebuike over Allen Robinson, Jacob. Thanks for checking back in with us. It was a gross discussion. You won the award.
We talked about that for quite a while.
You won the award for grossest question of the week, so cheers congrats on that one. But I would go Igwebuike over Allen. I have no faith in Allen Robinson, for the record.
Yeah.
It's a lost season.
Yeah.
Dion 47, Jerry Jeudy, Gallup, Ayuk, half PPR. I would order them. Oh boy.
I think I leave Gallup number 1.
What? Why?
He's just I trust in Dak Prescott the most out of any of those players. I know that Gallup has Amari and CD ahead of them. Like, granted,
yes.
Ayuk has Debo and Kittle ahead of them, and a lower volume passing offense. And then Jerry Jeudy has Teddy Bridgewater. So I think that's why I lean. Gallup has a
Jerry Jeudy also plays against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Yep.
I order them Jeudy, Ayuk, Gallup.
Oh, Gallup last. Yeah, I like Gallup first.
Wow.
Gallup, Ayuk, Jeudy in my rankings.
Okay, Ayuk or Jeudy? He has Kittle starting at tight end.
Okay, so I guess that does factor in a little bit versus what you hope is going to happen. I don't mind going Jeudy, Gallup. So then it's.
Oh, no, this is a different question. This is from TTJH. I would start Jeudy over Ayuk with Kittle. You already have Kittle.
Yeah, that's fine for sure.
Yeah. The other question. So you go Gallup first. I go Jeudy first.
Yeah.
Who do you go second, Jeudy or Ayuk?
So I went with no context of who has. If you have other 49ers players, sure. I go Ayuk over Jeudy.
literally backwards.
Literally backwards.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes we're lockstep. Sometimes we're completely opposite. Sorry, guys, for the lack of confidence.
Yep. Thundarius, have a great afternoon at a family Christmas party. We appreciate you coming by. Good luck to you as well. We got this. We're going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for coming by, guys. Gator fan, we see you in the chat always every single week. Toss a like on the video. Appreciate you. The Gator fan's got to join the Snap Army. That guy is in the chat all the time. We need to get him a part of the Snap Army.
Talbot, Burkhead, or Hilliard alongside Nick Chubb.
So there was a last minute. David Johnson is out. Not that it matters.
Doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter. I would go Dontrell Hilliard for the big play with Chubb. What does the volume for Rex Burkhead amount to? Probably Davis Mills starting. Probably not much.
Yeah.
Dion, you're welcome. Good luck. Appreciate you guys. JV, thank you so much. Looking forward to see you next week. Hopefully you lock up that playoff spot. Gator fan, picking 2 in a full PPR. Jermichael Hasty. Hopefully that's James Robinson, not Allen Robinson, but I'm going to assume it's Allen. MVS and Deonta Foreman. I would order them MVS, Foreman, Hasty, Robinson.
Yep, I don't mind that. Gator fan.
Gross.
Yeah.
MVS probably has the highest ceiling. Foreman second. Allen Robinson and just zero faith.
If that's James Robinson, I'm willing to start him over everyone.
If it's James Robinson, he starts first.
Yes.
And
then your next was MVS over Foreman?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Heck yeah.
All right. Cool. I think you got to get going, Mac?
I do, yeah. 12:30. I got to take off today, so we're going to end the stream a hair early. Any last-minute questions, I can hang around. But, it is James, so it's James Robinson, Gator fan. Yep.
So go with James Robinson first.
Agreed.
Get your questions in right now. Mac's going to leave soon, so we will answer every single question in the next 5 minutes or so, guys. So thank you so much for coming by. If you you can always send us a tweet or join our Discord. I'll stick around there to answer some questions and the Start Sit channel. But appreciate everyone for coming by. And Eric has a quick question. Pick 2, Gage Guyton, or I assume that's Jeff Wilson. And I have I'll put Jeff Wilson first out of those guys. Guyton or Gage. I think it's tough. I think it's tough.
Wilson first. I think the upside for both of them is quite high. I just lean Guyton a hair more for the matchup. Wilson, Guyton, Gage would be my order.
Yeah, I think I go Wilson, Gage, Guyton.
Mercado. Henry has been waived. Finally did it. I know it hurts, but it's probably the right play. Trying to look up first before the playoffs. Good luck to you, my friend. Good luck. I think that's a good move. Richie, start one. DJ Moore, Deebo Samuel, Mike Williams in a PPR. Damn, dude.
Start one.
Damn. I'm gonna stick with my love for Mike Williams this week.
Oh wow.
Deebo, potential re-injury, injury concern. DJ Moore got Cam Newton. I think Mike Williams is the safest and highest ceiling. I think he's just the option this week.
You're stressing me out.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, I won. I mean, I've got Mike Williams in a lot of spots. I hope you're right. It just feels like the ultimate letdown spot. It's going to be an Austin Eckler 5 touchdown game.
Yeah, I know.
But I think the reasoning and logic is there. Of course, once we say we leave, we got 10 more questions in here, eh, Mac?
I know. Hollywood is a good start over Brandon Ayuk, right? I think so. I'm not shying away from Hollywood. He's still the number one target, even though it's a low passing volume offense. I'm still going to stick with Hollywood over Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, I have them back to back in my rankings. So I think now I did the rankings actually thinking that Deebo was questionable / out for this game. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think Marquise is the play.
AF24 pick 2 Renfro, Jamar Chase, or Terry McLaurin in the standard league. Chase and McLaurin.
Jamar AF24.
Yeah. And 2. You said pick 2. Chase and McLaurin.
Chase and McLaurin. Yeah, McLaurin's a tough one, I know, but I think you gotta. In a PPR league, I think Renfro might be better than McLaurin, but in a standard league, you got to go with the touchdowns, and I think it's McLaurin has a good chance.
Yeah. With Hilaire back in the starting lineup, is Daryl Williams a no-go, even against a poor run defense like the Raiders? I wouldn't be starting Daryl this week.
No, I think he's a consideration as like a second flex kind of thing.
I'd be willing to roll out Jeff Wilson if he's on your waiver wire. I think either of the backs in Detroit are interesting plays. I'm not really willing to go to Daryl.
Zach Foster, you've still lost the Gus Bus. Woods, no Elijah Moore. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, you've had injuries just like everyone else, my dude.
Yeah.
Look at MVS, Tim Patrick, Chenault in a full PPR. I think we have love for MVS this week. I know you've been burned by him already, but I think MVS is in a good spot. He's healthy again. If you're looking for a big play, if you're down in the matchup, I think you have a good chance. I'd rather not trust Patrick or Chenault in a full PPR league. So don't watch the game, Zach. Hopefully it works out well for you. That's my favorite recommendation. Mac and I do this all the time now. Roll with MVS. Hope it's a big play. I'm sure you're going to get some bombs that are just like 2 feet, a foot away from like the fingertips of MVS. But hopefully one of those connects and you get MVS for a big 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah, like here's the thing. Tim Patrick, we haven't really seen the volume from him as of late, even though they locked him up to a contract. The matchup's great, but it's like Teddy Bridgewater, just don't trust. Laviska Shenault, you just can't start him. The Jags offense has gone absolutely flat. So I don't think the volume is high enough for either of these guys. The beauty in MVS is he has the best quarterback out of this bunch, probably the best quarterback in the league, and all it takes is one play for him to give you a week's worth of production. So I'm just gonna trust in the big playability of MVS, trust in a really good matchup against the Bears, and just no Randall Cobb. I think it's all signs point towards MVS here. So that's where I roll, my dude. So good luck to you. I have to take off. I am now 5 minutes late, but I got to get going.
Okay.
Appreciate you guys coming by. Landon and I will be here again next week. Actually, I will not be here next week. You will be solo, my guy. Landon.
I will be solo.
Yes, you will be. Yeah, Christmas party. Lando isn't going to be able to make it. He has to get on a plane to do so, and I don't blame him. But he's really staying home for you guys. That's matter
true.
of fact. So
yeah,
Landon will be here next week. He will hold it down for you playoffs. I'll be in the chat, and we'll get you guys right for Week 15. Good luck in Week 14. Hopefully, it's all that you need. Go Mike Williams. Go Green Bay Packers. Appreciate you guys in the chat, and as always, we'll